Now, all the games, all the highlights. You've waited for it long enough. The WSAV Friday Night Blitz, driven by your Savannah and Lowcountry Honda dealers, is on the air.
Friday Night Blitz back at it again tonight on WSAV. I'm Sports Director Greg Talbot, live tonight from Savannah State for our Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week location. Tonight you saw it live on WSAV, not on the CW, not on MyLC. We took over Big WSAV for our Game of the Week, and boy, was it a big one. Benedictine and Southeast Bullock, the two teams left undefeated in AAA region play around here, so tonight was for the de facto region championship. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights. Now, entering this game, we thought we would see this one be pretty close, at least until the second half. We thought we would see 35-14, 35-21, something like that. We were wrong. Just 70 seconds into the game, Rico Powers with the touchdown on the ground for Benedictine. He has offers from Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, and a lot more. So we're going to see him at the college level sometime soon. And then just a few plays later, a few minutes later, the pile-on started. Carter Gerner, the senior quarterback, connects over the top with Trent Broadnax, his wide receiver, for the first of 3 touchdowns tonight. And then they would spread the love again. Carter Morgan with over 200 yards on the season on the ground entering this game. He'd punch it in to make it 21-0. And then they would add more to make it a 6-touchdown game at halftime. It was 42-0 at the break, and that would be the final score. So what did we learn tonight? Well, we learned that Benedictine is far and away the best team in the region. We can pretty much lock in the region title for them right now. We also learned that Southeast Bullock is still in the fight, although they have a long way to go to match up with the likes of Benedictine. So that was our Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. For now, let's send it back to Connor Delpreet in the WSAV studios. He has highlights from a lot more games. Go ahead, Connor.
Yes, we do, Greg. We start with the big boys in the Coastal Empire. The 6A region wide open. Anyone's got to step up and establish themselves as the team to beat. Bradwell coming into this game nice and rested. Must be nice because they had the bye week. Richmond Hill limps in after getting dominated last week. Second quarter, Wildcats up a point. Luke Carter takes a snap and fires it to Isaiah Allen, who picks up the good gain here. They cap it off with a nice little 35-yard field goal. Kicking makes a difference at the high school level. Later, after another very methodical run-heavy drive, Jamal Polite, not very polite on this one, rather rude as he gets that short touchdown in for the Wildcats. But the defense also playing an efficient game here. Nathan Vickers gets a crucial third down solo sack. That is not easy against a mobile quarterback. Then the Wildcats are able to get the punter and block the kick after a low snap. Dude gets leveled. They would get another field goal off of that good field position. So Richmond Hill would hold on to pick up a nice, good win against Bradwell, 23-19. Glen Academy traveling to Brunswick to take on the Pirates. They eke out a 5-point win at the 6A level. Let's head to 5A now. Matchup of Gators and Mustangs. We know how that ends in the wild on Nat Geo. But what about when it's on the high school gridiron? First quarter, no score here. Thomas Castellanos of Ware County throws a beauty of a throw. Lost in the lights for a second. Goes right into Chris Jones's breadbasket, though. Kicks things off in Guyton. Ware jumps out to a 7-0 lead over South Effingham. Same score, LaDedrick Castellanos putting in some work. It's a foot race to the end zone, but he would get taken down deep in enemy territory. Brandon Mills sees all those holes his teammates were able to carve, and he's going to get his own. Finds pay dirt. That's good for 6. Gator chomp, baby. 14-0 away team. Ware County not looking back in this one. Defense clamping down and holds the Stangs to just 6 points. 35-6 is the final. Winners of 6 in their last 7 games. The Warriors from Jenkins want to challenge the big dogs in 3A. They need to take care of this Groves team, though, if they want to make that happen. First quarter, Ashante Daniels runs it up the gut for a touchdown. 2-point conversion is no good, so it is 6-0 Jenkins early on. Next possession, Groves QB Damon Ramos, some of the best hair in the league. Not the best throw here, though. Jeremy Smith, a Marshall commit, picks it off, and boy, are the Herd happy to have him next year. Trayshawn Brown at quarterback now. He hits Darius Reggie Bush, who's showing off flashes, that USC Heisman Trophy winner here, taking it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Just can't get it into the end zone. But no worries, Donovan Hall is there to clean up the drive with a quick run. The 2-point conversion would be good this time, so it's 14-0 Jenkins, and there was no looking back for this Warriors team. How about this? 41-0, the final from Garden City. Well, Windsor Forest finally righted the ship after a 3-game skid. Let's see if they can continue the winning ways against Savannah High. Opening drive, Demazio Harris decides he wants to get the scoring started for the Knights, and just like that, it is 6-zip home team. Savannah High trying to keep pace with these Windsor Forest Knights. Dante Harris is going to toss one, but he's picked off by Jamario Blige. Relation to Mary J. Blige? Who knows, but he's given some real love to his defensive line right now. The Blue Jackets would return the favor, though. Eric Phoenix picked off in the end zone. Nice play here from Savannah High. The Knights would not capitalize this time. Later in the first quarter, Phoenix gets the ball into Harris's trusty hands once again. Damasio gets the ball, runs it in, and the two-point conversion would be good. So much like Jenkins, Windsor Forest jumps out to that early 14-0 lead. And how about this? Blowing the doors off this game, 64-0. The final from Memorial Stadium. I'd like to check in on some other 3A scores here. Liberty County manhandles Long County 54-0. And Pierce County, an absolute buzzsaw over there. Stays perfect on the year, 8-0 after downing Tattnall County. We're going to toss back out to Greg, who's got more about what we can see after the break.
Yeah, Connor, that's the first time I've ever heard a Mary J. Blige name drop in a high school football highlight show, but, props to you for your creativity. Okay, we're just getting started here on the Blitz. Coming up on the other end of this commercial break, we already did the big games. The small school games are very important, especially the Country Day Christian game, both of these Savannah variety. Those highlights and a lot more coming up after the break. And we are back on the Friday Night Blitz on WSAV. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Greg Talbot, live tonight from Savannah State, where Benedictine had a field day against Southeast Bullock. Final score 42-0. Let's go ahead now and do our Subway Top Performer of the Week. We had a ton of options, as you might be able to guess from such a high-scoring game, but we go with a wide receiver, a sophomore, Trent Broadnax. You might not know his name compared to Rico Powers, Jakeem Harris. This kid had a coming-out party of a game, 3 first-half touchdowns, 77 yards, 4 catches total. He was unbelievable. All right, so that's it for our Subway Performance of the Week. Now let's go to some small school highlights, Connor. We had a couple good ones tonight, buddy.
Yeah, Greg, perfection is far from easy in region play. All these teams are so familiar with each other, and anything can happen any given Friday. But two teams that we're about to see are a perfect 3-0 headed into their matchup tonight. 2A play is Swainsboro visiting Vidalia. We begin in the second quarter. Still no score here as the teams run out. Cade Humans is going to throw a quick 3-yard score to his guy, Javon I Get Tutties Brown. Touchdown gives them a 6-0 lead, and Swainsboro says, you know what? We're on the road against an undefeated Vidalia team. Let's go for 2. Cedric Sebro brings it home for the Tigers, so it's 8-0 away team. The ups and downs of a high school quarterback evident in this game, though. We're still in the second quarter here. Yeoman, trusting his arm after those first couple throws, is picked off. Sweet interception here. How about that? By Bryce Davis, but the Indians unable to take advantage. The drive stalls, and the Tigers get the ball back. So Yeoman going to go back to his arm here. Drops back to pass, and shades of the same play, picked off again. James Outler. But again, the home team can't come away with points, so Swainsboro goes into halftime with an 8-0 lead. They add a touchdown in the second half and hold off the Indians to win this one by the final of 15-8. Toombs County takes on Jeff Davis here, and Jeff Davis comes out with a double-digit win, 35-14. Let's head to Pooler now. Offensive powerhouse Savannah Christian takes on Savannah Country Day in 1A play. End of the first half here, 13-0 Raiders. Barry Kleinpeter wants points on the board. Marquell Brown stops the Hornets in their tracks, though. Sick interception here. Raiders going to go into halftime with that 13-point lead, and they are not backing down when we came back from the break. This is Andre Miller, 230 pounds, met by a host of Raiders. That is no easy task, bringing down Miller like that. What can Marquell Brown do for you? Turns out most everything. Puts a defender on spin cycle as he moses his way down the sideline. Savannah Christian would have to punt, though. This is where Davion Smith shines. Helps the Hornets find their way in this drive, biting off a huge chunk of yards. Few plays later, how about the extension from Eric Brown? Doing what he can to keep the Hornets in this one, but that is the only score the Hornets would get all night. Savannah Christian holds off Country Day 23-7. Calvary Day hoping to make it 2 wins in a row as they travel to Portal, and they take care of that team. Big W, 38-0. Beaufort bouncing back from that loss to May River last week with a double-digit win over Hilton Head. And how about those May River Sharks? Are you kidding me? 49-7, they move to 8-0 on the year as they head into a big matchup with Wade Hampton. Time now for our play of the week presented by Subway. It's the Gator Connection, folks. Thomas Castellanos to Chris Jones, an absolute rainbow of a pass. Plays perfectly. Jones holds on to it and scores a 6-yard touchdown. This lit a fire under the Gators early, and they never relinquished that lead. Time now for a reminder, WSAV and Ford are teaming up to highlight you, the fans. We are out in full force every night taking pictures of you. So check out the Built Ford Tough Fans photo gallery every week if you've been spotted by our cameras. Go to WSAV.com/BuiltFordToughFans, and remember, America's strongest trucks are Built Ford Tough. We're going to toss it back to Greg at Savannah State for a final recap. And Greg, I have to think, guys like Kirby Smart up at Georgia are licking their chops.
Our next Friday Night Blitz game of the week is taking over WSAV again next Friday. It's a big one, the South Carolina AAA Region Championship. May River against Wade Hampton as May River looks to go for their first ever region title. We will see you there for that next week. Have a good one.